Hello, my friends. How are you doing? We are in for a journey and a ride right now called Universe to Universe, and we're going to connect both universes, and we're going to transverse and go back and forth between each universe and bring both of the verses together to understand what this is all about. Now, you've heard my story, you've heard Jill's and I's story, and one of the most hardest things I had to understand when I went to the hospital and to the doctors is that some were talking about synthetic medicine, and I knew it worked, and some were talking about medical food medicine. And I think it's allopathic and it's homeopathic. And so now I have two top experts in the world on this, and we want to have a discussion on the different worlds. We want to have a discussion on how they work together, how they choose each other, and how they go with each other. So let me introduce my guests. I have Dr. Lawrence, who deals with oil and terpenes and things of that nature. Homeopathic, thank you for reminding me. And then we have Dr. Henri Lamothe, who deals with what? Allopathic. So now, I'm even having a hard time trying to pronounce some of the names. And so we're going to spend some time trying to understand these different worlds. And so if you're in the allopathic and you're in the homeopathic, can we take an opportunity to talk about each one? Synthetic versus food. Synthetic versus this. And I know you guys are in both universes, but can we deal with that? First, I'll ask you, Dr. Henri. When it comes to synthetic and when it comes to allopathic, what's your thoughts on that? Medicine.
It's a field that one needs to understand its birth and its creation. It's very young, and it comes with the development of a large pharmaceutical industry where synthetic products are made that have biological activities that helps cure illnesses, diseases that are physically hampering us. And it's the advent of a combination of the American Society of Chemists and their quest with the drug companies and to go out and find substances that can help cure illnesses.
Okay.
So there's a synthetic part of all of the medications that they promote in allopathic medicine. And those synthetic medications have real activity.
Okay.
Except it comes from a fairly rigorous process of presenting the chemicals, understanding their side effects, go through the process of being accepted by the Food and Drug Administration, and then utilizing it based on research on specific illnesses.
Okay.
So allopathic medicine uses synthetic medications to take care of illnesses.
Okay, now I know you know the other part. Can you tell me, Dr. Lawrence, homeopathic medicine?
Homeopathic medicine is a medicine that's been used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years with great efficacy. In fact, the allopathic methodology was developed using the homeopathic remedies. And by utilization of that, they changed those remedies. And in so doing, some were good, some are very, very necessary for the sustention of life as we know it today. When it comes to homeopathic remedies, myself, I find that they lend themselves more conducive to the body. The body was not made in a laboratory. It was not experimented with. That wasn't put into a petri dish. Neither was a plant. A plant was made by God. We were made by God. And I look at things the way they work. I look at the thousands of years that people have tested and moved and created and mixed and blended and heated and did whatever they had to do to manufacture a part that was all made out of a plant or a combination of plants and minerals or a combination of structures within those pieces that created also, like in medicine, atomic reactions, or action where the atoms actually join themselves, form compounds.
And can I just interrupt you one quick?
Sure.
When you say atomic reactions, are you talking about electricity or something? What is an atomic reaction?
Exactly.
Okay.
Everything has a polarity of some sort, whether it be a little bubble that sits, it'll have a positive and negative reaction as far as tension on the top or the bottom, whatever part of that bubble it is. And so does every molecule. Every molecule has a vibration. Every atom has a vibration. There's a tonality that goes out. There's a systematic portion of all of these plants that have the ability to interact with our body's own vibrations and create a unity of health.
So let me ask you this.
Sure.
Did you didn't start off as homeopathic, did you?
Not at all.
And you start off allopathic.
Well, I started out with both.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to be in another country.
Okay.
So we had, it was nothing to see somebody strolling down the aisle with pieces of papaya or the whole papaya and being able to strip those pieces off and making a poultice with it.
Making a what?
A poultice.
Okay.
And that's where you would wrap a wound or what have you.
Okay.
And
I didn't know that because I was going to ask the next question, but go ahead.
And the properties of that plant have properties that can extract bacteria.
So you're saying that they almost make a plant-based bandage
Yes,
to
sir.
put on
Exactly.
a wound, and
Yes.
it would extract the disease or whatever it was that was there.
It could actually kill bacteria and help the process of healing.
Papaya?
Yes.
The skin?
Yes.
Well, I just bought papaya today, but it didn't have no skin on it.
I have some. I'll get it.
Okay, so that's what it. Now let me ask you a question. You started off allopathic, or did you start off homeopathic because you're a rare breed? Tell me, how do you make the switch?
Well, I don't think it's a process of making the switch. I think it's a process of being broad-minded enough and out-of-the-box thinker enough to recognize the fact that homeopathic medicine has its place in the healing process. Yes, I've studied allopathic medicine and understand the value of the chemicals that are being produced and are being sold. But you have to be somewhat unique to not dismiss history and history of healing that has been the homeopathic process of thousands of years. So what I bring to the table is understanding, yes, you may be an allopathic physician, but you can't dismiss the homeopathic path that's been before us. And there's something natural about the homeopathic path. Many medications these days have a lot of side effects. Part of it is because we make it out of chemicals that may have some biological activities that are good for a disease process. But I think the other half of it is just as important. There is some limitations to its value, but there's some side effects that you have to deal with as well.
Okay, I want to put something on the table for both of you. And here's the thought I'm having. You've got colleagues. When you deal with these colleagues, they don't have the same mindset of you. And I'm talking about other doctors. What kind of conversations do you both have with other doctors to get them to accept this truth that you know it to be true? What kind of conversations have you had?
Well, some will accept, some won't accept. It depends on their mindset. It depends on what they have decided they're going to radiate to.
Okay.
I radiate to something that's a food.
Okay.
We eat food.
Right.
What we have is a food. The oil is a food.
Okay.
Food and food seem to be what we're supposed to have. Adding chemicals to things is a necessity in some areas, absolute necessity. I would never say that allopathic medicine is something that we should throw out. I'll never say that.
Right.
because there's there's parts of that that are absolutely necessary. Some wonderful things have been established. But in most cases, I will talk about, what I believe. I'll ask questions that can't be answered by some of my colleagues. And it usually ends up going into quantum physics,
Okay.
so I can prove something on a board. But other than that, the discussions it's either you're for it, you're not for it. Dr. Lamothe here goes the same way. He's very easy to speak with. We both speak the same language. Both have a love
And I
for
know
each
you
other.
all speak the same language, but what about your colleagues? How do you have these discussions? Because let me just tell you what's happening. I'm trying to figure out, is it fair for me as a patient not to have doctors like yourself and only get one part of the information? Is that fair? And one, how do you talk to your colleagues?
Well, it goes back to a very specific concept. As pure scientists, the propagation of science has to do with being an out-of-the-box thinker.
Okay.
You questioned what's laid out in front of you and say, can it be better? That means you need to be broad-minded.
Right.
You need to be more comprehensive in accepting outside experiences.
Okay.
And the evolution of the homeopathic world speaks for itself.
Okay.
And all I'm adding to it is, yes, there is place for allopathic medicine, but let's encompass it all into homeopathic medicine as well.
And when you say the evolution of homeopathic, what do you mean?
Over thousands and thousands of years, many cultures, Chinese, Egyptian, and Greece, have developed ways in which they can take care of illnesses specifically.
Okay.
And that's what I mean by the evolution. There's a longer history of homeopathic medicine and homeopathic treatment than allopathic treatment.
So then what that means, because I'm going to come to you, because you said when you went to the sarcophagus and you saw that hemp plant, that's why you say you saw it as sativa, but you knew, you said they called it marijuana, but you knew it wasn't because it was a different leaf.
Exactly.
And so that piques your curiosity.
Exactly.
And so now what you're both explaining to me is, and for me it's confusing because I'm going to be honest, I told the doctor I would really like to take some medical food product, and he said, if you want to die, go ahead.
Unfortunately, you met with the wrong person.
Right.
The items that we speak of are items that are natural to you. They're again, I go back on the premise that they're food. Thousands of years of study. To be like Dr. Lamothe says, to be a scientist, you have to understand that we are not living in today's generation because they failed in the last generation for health. Mm-hmm. We're living in this generation because they've progressed. Right. Some of the progression has been good. Some of the progression has been bad. The best of the progression has continued to stay with what it is today, as far as I'm concerned, on the homeopathic methodologies of health.
Right.
And this is what I enjoy. This is what I've seen more benefits towards. Right. But then again, on the allopathic side, I have seen tremendous value.
Right.
A polio shot is a perfect example.
Tell me, why would you use that?
I think, the idea is very comprehensive. Let East meet West. Let North meet South. Let's not segregate what we have. Let's bring it together. Let's understand its value. And let's promote it together.
Right.
That's the change. The change is not to be short-sighted,
Right.
but broad-minded.
Right. I have a Haitian friend who told me they have some kind of plant in Haiti that they put in water and it clears the water up. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but if the water is dirty, they put this plant in it, and I'm gonna research it, and when they put that plant in it, the water becomes drinkable again. And so when you say bring the North to with the South, the East with the West, you're saying let's be all encompassing. I want you both to know it's very comforting to hear this, because at some point I thought I was crazy, and then when I tried to talk to doctors, they would tell me I knew more about nutrition than they did. And do you know, not one doctor since I've gone to the regular healthcare system has asked me, what is your nutritional? What are you doing? What are you eating for food?
And we are what we eat.
And there you are. We are what we eat. And that's why I wanted to, and I want you all to see, I sit between the two people because we're between two different worlds. But I cut you off. I want to hear what you had to say.
No, it's, we eat to survive and heal.
Yeah, right. Well, listen, I thank you guys once again for being able to come on, and this is such an amazing opportunity. I just want to tell you all to understand the new Ministry of Health is about truth. It's about seeking truth, and it's about finding it out for yourself. And the only reason I am knowledgeable about any of these things is because I had to study for myself, because I wanted to survive and live. But I want to thank you both for being very open-minded, and once again, both helping me save my life, because once I met you and realized there was a scientific basis behind this, and then you too, I said, hey, I'm here. So listen, this is the new Ministry of Health, where we're changing lives from the inside out with the truth, and all encompassing truth of both worlds. Medical food products is your answer. As he just said, and he said, we are what we eat. My name is Deron Cloud. I love you. This is sign language, and I beat you to it. God bless you.